Why do you think I'm nervous? Today we are talking about 1988's She's Having a Baby. This movie follows the story of Jake and Christy Briggs as they get married and go through the process of finding out that Christy is pregnant and the 9 months leading up to her birth, giving, and then her delivery process in general. I think this is John Hughes' most underrated movie. This was made after Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and those were the two films that really were like John's look on adult life, and he was transitioning out of his teen dramas, and it was before Home Alone, so it was before his like kid stint, and it was just a really beautiful period for him, I think. Like, reminiscing about his own adulthood and just trying to give life advice to the people who did watch his movies as teenagers that were becoming adults. One reason I love this movie so much is because of Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon is our main character, Jefferson Jake Briggs, and he is sort of just like a child in an adult's body, and he doesn't really grow up until Christy is in labor. And she has a complicated labor, and the baby doesn't come out right away, and it's a very dramatic, sad, stressful scene. It makes me cry every time. But Jake is just like finding himself, and he's wants to be an author, but he's in advertising, and he just is lost, and he knows he loves Christy, but he also questions why he got married so young, and he's just like distressed. And he's figuring his life out, and you go through this entire journey with him and from his perspective, and there's a lot of like dream sequences where Jake is imagining what could happen and like what does happen. You get where he's coming from, and you understand why he's so nervous about growing up. This movie's just a very beautiful, intimate look at the life of a young married couple that has been together forever. Like, Jake and Christy were together since they were like in high school, I think, or early college, something like that. And they just genuinely love each other, and it's so, so beautiful. And these were two characters that John hadn't written before. Like, there was never such a deep, passionate love between the male and female leads as there is between Jake and Christy. I mean, like, yeah, Jake is questioning things most of the time, but Christy is always there, and she never falters in her love for him, and it is just beautiful. Like, it's so sweet, and they have such great chemistry on screen together. It's a very good film about finding yourself as an adult. Jake wants to be a writer more than anything else, but he just can't make his dreams come true because he's so busy trying to provide for himself. And his best friend, Davis, played by Alec Baldwin, which is so good looking. Davis is living in New York, and he is just like a junkie, and he's useless, but he's living this fun, fast-paced life, and Jake is trapped in suburbia in Chicago with all these like old farty married people, and he's regretful about some of his decisions, like to marry Christy so early in the beginning of the movie. But towards the end, he has accepted the fact that Davis is immature and he will never have his life figured out, and Jake does, and it's really just a great testament to not get discouraged with your life, because your friends may be doing more fun things than you, but in the end, if you are happy and you are alive and you aren't masking your pain with drugs or alcohol or prostitutes, then you're good. It's so genuinely funny too. It's John Hughes, like, classic dry humor, and so good. I can't talk it up enough. There are some truly beautifully directed scenes. There's the scene where Jake is working with the advertisers, and they're doing a baby campaign for like diapers or something, and Jake is holding this baby, and then he's going around the agency or wherever they are shooting this, trying to find the mom. And so he's holding this baby, and he's going through these dark but well-lit hallways with like these beautiful shadows all over the place, and then he finds this room full of half-naked models, and he's just so like distracted, and it's dirty but it's beautiful all at the same time, like, because it's towards the point where Jake is just trying to figure himself out and figure out if he really wants to have this baby with Christy, and he's nervous about becoming a father, and he doesn't feel like an adult. John Hughes has my heart.
They had put a fart machine into my sleeping bag.